Good evening and welcome to the Channel Studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. President Putin says military reservists are to be sent to Ukraine as part of a partial mobilization of Russian forces. In a televised address to the nation, he said this was a necessary step to ensure Russian territorial integrity. He accused the West of wanting to see Russia weakened and said a threat to retaliate further was not a bluff. Germany's Vice-Chancellor said the move was an escalation in the conflict by Russia. And here, Poland's Prime Minister saying Russia is attempting to destroy Ukraine. Meanwhile, Western nations have condemned Moscow's plans to hold so-called referendums in parts of Ukraine that are currently under Russian control. The head of the Russia-backed separatist Luhansk region of Ukraine saying a referendum would be held on joining Russia in the next few days.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. It's a great pleasure to be with the Foreign Secretary.
The US, Germany and France have all said they would never recognize the results of what they called sham ballots.
Having installed puppet representatives in the parts of Ukraine that they've seized, and now looking to proceed with referenda that would be a sham, and that would then lead to them claiming the annexation of Ukrainian territory. At the same time, we're seeing reports that President Putin is contemplating mobilizing more of Russia's reserves, throwing more young Russians into his desperate quest to seize another country. That both of these things are happening this week, as we're at the United Nations, shows his utter contempt and disdain for the United Nations, for the General Assembly, for the United Nations Charter. The very principles that we're here to uphold this week in the Charter.
Energy bills for UK businesses will be cut by around half their expected level this winter under a huge government support package. The scheme will fix wholesale gas and electricity prices for firms for 6 months from October the 1st, shielding businesses from crippling costs. Hospitals, schools and charities will also get help. It comes after ministers announced a £150 billion plan to help households with their soaring bills for 2 years. Industry groups welcomed the package but warned further support may be needed after the winter.
Well, we know that businesses are very concerned about the level of their energy bills. That's why we are putting in place a scheme for business that will be equivalent to the scheme for households to make sure that businesses are able to get through the winter. We're going to review it after 6 months. We'll make sure that the most vulnerable businesses, like pubs, like shops, continue to be supported after that. And we'll be announcing the scheme on Wednesday, but what I can say is that the scheme will apply from the 1st of October to make sure businesses have that security through the winter.
Marine conservation experts headed to the Australian state of Tasmania to attempt to rescue a pod of approximately 230 whales, with officials saying only half appeared to be alive. The animals, which appeared to be pilot whales, were stranded on Ocean Beach, the Department of Natural Resources and Environment Tasmania said in a statement. A team of marine wildlife experts will assess the scene and situation to plan an appropriate response. A waterspout has been spotted off the coast of Florida and caught on camera by a passerby. The phenomenon was captured in an eyewitness video forming under a dark cloud while boats decorated the Palm Beach marina below. It's after a similar seascape was seen when another waterspout formed over the same area a few days ago. And finally, South China's Shenzhen city has got approval for a civil unmanned aerial test area by the Civil Aviation Administration of China.
Wow.
Industry insiders believe that the approval will promote more commercial applications of drones. Dozens of drones took off and landed at lunchtime on the rooftop of a shopping mall in Shenzhen, carrying food takeaways ordered by staff who work in surrounding office buildings. China is ahead of most of the world when it comes to drones, with them expanding fast into the delivery service industry over the last 12 months. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the Channel Studios in Lagos.